On this week's episode, we talk about the 3000 Hit Club, the NBA playoffs. We give you our thoughts on the Leafs and who they'll play in the NHL playoffs. And have you heard? The bird, it's the word. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 15 of season 2 of Points and Penalties. For all our listeners, we'd like to remind you to please subscribe wherever you get your podcast. For our viewers on YouTube, please click this little button in the bottom right-hand corner, little PMP button. That's how you subscribe here on YouTube. No matter how you check us out, make sure you give us a like, follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Points Penalties. Once again, my name is Josh. With me are my co-hosts, Kevin, Jesse, and Peter. We're back from our Easter break. Kevin, I know you got a nice beer tonight. What are you drinking?
Well, I've got myself today, guys, a Russell Brewing, a wee angry Scotch ale. It's a BC brewed, and it's a 6.5%. It's a strong beer. Let's give this sucker a go.
It's just a wee angry.
I'm
a wee bit angry.
Just a wee bit.
It's strong beer. That's for shizzle. Pedro, what's your poison?
Thanks, Kev. I am this week. I'm going with the Instigator West Coast style IPA. Got a crazy looking dude on the can.
Oh yeah.
That says lover. Yeah. I think he's more of a fighter. I think that's the joke. Instigator West Coast style IPA from Indie Ale House right here in Toronto. And it also, Kev, is 6.5%. So hopefully someone came in light today, or we might have a team bitch situation happening.
Team bitch.
But yeah, it's pretty good. Nice easy drinking, not too hoppy. I like it. Jesse, what are you drinking?
I am drinking one that we've all had before, Flying Monkey Juicy Ass.
You juicy ass.
You juicy ass.
You might have the juiciest ass of us all here.
So it's IPA, strong beer, 6.5%.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I haven't had one of these in a long time. It's a different IPA, but it's still pretty top shelf for me. Yosh, did you beat us?
It looks like we have a triple bitch situation today, boys.
Uh-oh.
A triple bitch. I have got a Wellington Brewery Faces double IPA. It's got Citra and Idaho 7 hops. Strong beer, 8.5%. There's some faces there.
Yeah.
Fucking triple bitch. Jeez. Never thought that would have happened.
Misery loves company, I guess.
All right, let's try this bad boy out. Oh yeah, I've been drinking regular beer all day, so it's a little bit different flavor, but that's good. I like it. So like I said, hoppy or citrusy, and it's good stuff. All right, guys, this week it's gonna start a bit on a somber note. Peter, why don't you start us off? Take us through some not so good news.
Yeah, so we lost a couple of legends from the NHL community. So our thoughts and prayers are with the families of the Lafleur and Bossy families. Guy Lafleur, of course, with the Montreal Canadiens, had 560 goals, 793 assists in 1,126 games in his 17 seasons. And he was a five-time Stanley Cup winner. I'd like to win 5 playoff rounds in my life. And Mike Bossy, 573 goals, 553 assists, 1,126 points. Coincidentally, the exact same number of games that Lafleur played. Who knew? In only 752 games. And Bossy is the NHL's all-time leader in average goals scored per regular season game. He holds the NHL's third highest all-time average points scored per regular season game. And of course, Bossy was instrumental in the Islanders' 4 back-to-back Stanley Cup victories. So Mike Bossy and Guy Lafleur and their families and friends and loved ones. My thoughts are with you, because we lost a couple legends from the NHL. We also lost a broadcaster from the Blue Jays, not just to a battle with cancer. So Josh, why don't you let us know what's going on there? He's not quite not lost like these other two yet, but he's just not working at the moment.
He's fighting.
He's fighting. Yeah, that's right. So longtime Toronto Blue Jay broadcaster and former MLB player Buck Martinez has been diagnosed with cancer, and he's going to begin his treatment in the upcoming weeks. So he told everybody, or Sportsnet, I guess, made the announcement via Twitter this past week, and so I guess last Sunday was his last game for a while, as he said. So he'll still be watching and so on and so forth. But Martinez, he's 73 years old. He's still out there calling games. Played 17 seasons as a pro catcher, starting with the Royals. Played for the Brewers, and then was traded to the Blue Jays in 1981. And he played his final 6 seasons as a pro in Toronto. He hit in those last 6 seasons, he hit 10 home runs twice, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it was a bit of a different game back in the day. And, your catcher wasn't Buster Posey or, the guys that are mashing these things. You don't need them
Salvador Perez.
Exactly. You don't need him to do that. So he retired in 1986. He was a coach, a manager for the Blue Jays for a while, I believe on multiple occasions. And then moved up to the booth. And although he is from California, Toronto is his home. He's about as Canadian as an American can get. And so we, again, like you said, Pete, our thoughts and prayers are with all these families, and including Buck's family and the Blue Jay family in general, because we're all going to miss hearing him call the games. But he'll be back. He said he's going to be back, and I'm going to hold him to it. So
Damn right.
Damn right.
Gonna beat this thing.
Yeah, 100%. So, all right, Jess, let's step up the notch a little bit here. Get out of this somber mood, and you're going to carry us on with a little bit of, or a lot of baseball news, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. Well, Miguel Cabrera has now joined an elite club with only has 7 other players. One, he got his 3,000 hits. Good for him. And he also he's one of the few that have ever gotten 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. So Miggy hit his 500th home run last year, August 22nd. And I didn't know this, so I threw it in there because I thought it was neat. I always thought the 3,000 club was the more lucrative one than the 500 home run. So there's 33 members there, which is awesome. It's tough to get to that 3,000 marker, but for the 500 home run club, there's only 28 members. So I thought that was neat. I always thought that the more hits were way better. But so in this club of 3,000 hits and 500 homers, one of the best baseball players ever, Hank Aaron, A-Rod, Pujols, Willie Mays, Rafael Palmeiro, Eddie Murray, and then you got Mickey in there. So I think we can put an asterisk around A-Rod or A-Royd and Palmeiro, just because these guys have been in trouble with PEDs. So I think he might. I think he's going to go down in history, especially of this era right now. Like, obviously he's not beating Pujols, but he's one of the best ever, I think, personally. And he is a Triple Crown winner. So those come far and few between. And then, so I just got a couple questions for you guys. Is where do you think he's going to finish? He's at age 39. I read somewhere that he's going to, in 2001, he said he's going to finish his career after the 2023 season. So you're looking at 2 more seasons of it. So I got some numbers I picked him as he's going to 32 32 hits and then 530 home runs, which would put him up above Eddie Murray. Which way do you think? I'm pretty sure everyone thinks he's going to pass, obviously. But where do you guys think he's going to be?
I think your number for the hits is fine. I think you're a little high on the home runs, and even my number that I've got down here might be a little high, as he's only hitting like 10 home runs a year now, which isn't very much. So I'm saying 32-18. Again, I'm basing that on, for hit story, that is, I'm basing that on the rest of this year and next year. The most he's hit was like 139 hits in the last few years, last 5, I believe it was. 139 hits, and he hasn't really come, the one before that was like 121 or something. So I figure he's looking at 240-ish hits. That would be a higher end. So that's where I ended up at the 32-18. I think it's gonna be a little touch lower, and then I figure he's gonna pop in 525 home runs, which is another 23 from now. But that's where I'm at. So just for close. But I think I think with that team, he's going to see, although he's going to DH, it's possible that as they come up, especially next year, that he could lose ABs to some of these young kids. And I think that's going to be what hurts him. And I don't think he's going to beat Eddie Murray in hits.
Well, I have him going at for hits 3,123. And I'm going to get him at about 536 homers.
So you think a lot of his hits coming up are going to be homers?
Well, yeah.
Out of the next 120 some odd at bat or hits, he's putting in another 35 homers. 34.
I mean, he's still a really good hitter, so
of course,
I think he'll definitely have more hits than for the ratio that you're talking about. Like, he's barely hitting home runs right now. But I also think because these up and comers are coming, it's not that he might lose some at bats. You're probably right on that, but at the same time, he's going to be protected.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going to get some fastballs maybe because he's such a great hitter. So then maybe he can actually load up.
Yeah,
and because he's playing DH, because you got Spencer Torkelson playing first now, there's less injury involved.
For sure. And he really hasn't had too much injury concern. Like, obviously in the last, say, 5 years, he might have had a little more, but he's old, right?
Age.
Yeah. So, but early in his career, and that's why he's at 3,000 hits, because even though he said just there's 33 guys in that 3,000 hit category, all those guys had a lot of fucking longevity. It's not like some guy hit 3,000 in 10 years and that was it. Like, they had lots of longevity. So
yeah, you have to be in this exclusive club for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned he's thinking about calling it quits after next year, but I think the longevity is going to end after this one. He's 39 already. So my numbers are based on him finishing up after the end of this year. I've got him getting to 3,116 hits, which coincidentally, completely a coincidence, is exactly one more hit than A-Royd. And and I have him with about 13 more home runs this year to get to 515.
That's a lot of home runs that if he's averaging 10.
Yeah, like it wasn't. I
a few more.
It's not. Hasn't been hitting that many home runs in the last 5 years. But like you said, he's still a great hitter, and he's hitting more for average now, I would say, than home runs. So
yeah, you might be right though. He's probably not going to be passing Eddie Murray hits. I was thinking of home runs.
Home runs for sure, because he's only got 2 to. Yeah, he'll beat him this year in home runs. So
that was more or less what I was relaying to than the hits. But I know I'm being super generous of what he might do. I'm thinking he's going to play next year, and I think he's going to do pretty well. But it is possible he could catch Eddie Murray. It's just going to in hits. It's just he's got he's got a really good average, but he doesn't. I think he walks a lot too. I think people were. I think the Yankees intentionally walked him instead of allowing him try to get.
That's just to avoid him getting the 3,000th against them because they suck.
Yeah.
because they're cowards.
For sure.
But congratulations, Miggy. We'll see you for the next. Hopefully, see you for the next 2 years, and not on Peter's perception that he's only going to be done after this year.
39, man.
Yeah, he's
What's
old.
wrong with 39?
Father time catches us all.
Fuck.
So I got another baseball incident that happened, which was kind of funny. We had Pirates outfielder Brian Reynolds hit a triple at Wrigley Field, and it was the softest hit triple recorded in the StatCast era. So this is 2015. Since 2015, it traveled a grand total of 79 feet in the air, and it was hit off the bat at 49.4 miles per hour, which is not a lot.
I think all of us can throw a ball faster than that.
I don't know there, bud.
I've seen those knees, Kev.
Yeah. Not running.
You don't need knees to throw. Come on.
No.
It's all in the
Steps.
arm. It's all in the arm.
He steps into it, and his knee just buckles.
Buckles. Yeah.
All right, so he's a lefty, and he's at the plate. The Cubs are all shifting, and then so they got the shortstop and the second baseman all the way on the right-hand side, and they got Patrick Wisdom. He's kind of playing like shortstop. He's the third baseman there typically, and so he hits a dribbler down the third baseline, and Wisdom is nowhere close near this, so he has to like hustle over to get the ball that's caught in shallow right field. Well, after he picked it up, because I think it actually stopped. I don't even think he. It's pretty rare to see a ball just stop in the field play. Like, but typically people are picking them up. But yeah, so he rifles it over to second, and Reynolds just keeps going because there's no one covering third base at all. So I don't know what the rest of everyone was doing there. Like they looked like they were picking dandelions out there, but it's just a little ridiculous. Like I think you got to blame the pitcher on that one. They're supposed to be covering everything, but these guys got to know their assignments on a shift, because like you're giving the whole left side up. Like you got to be able to know where you're going to be playing once they actually hit it down that way, because they are professionals and they actually know how to hit.
Yeah, like it's either the pitcher or the shortstop, but the shortstop is not going to make it over to third base anyway in that. So it's definitely the pitcher. You can say maybe the catcher, but then the pitcher's got to cover home, and that doesn't happen a lot either. So
well, that was the thing. I think I don't know who the catcher was at the time. Is it Contreras there? I don't know.
It might be still Contreras, yeah.
Yeah, so he was thinking of running there, and then he realized, oh shit, there's going to be no one at home plate, and he's just going to keep running. Yeah. So he kind of just went like halfway. Was there like, no, I'll just go back to home plate.
And the shortstop definitely could have got there. Like he got there from fucking the batter's box, so you just got to get there before he does.
Right, and the ball is hit to that side, so
right.
So like, but I think that it would be easier for the pitcher, who would be the closest.
For sure, it should have been the pitcher.
Third base. So it was quite embarrassing. It was pretty funny.
Do you know who the pitcher was for the Cubbies?
I do not. I had the link open, but everything's freezing up, so I decided to delete. So I don't know who the pitcher was. I'm sure he's gonna get a tongue lashing. So I just curious because they're ending the shift next year in the new CBA.
Is that confirmed, or is that like?
Yep.
That 100%, no more shift. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Which
that's why Joey Gallo was so excited. He's like, I can finally get a single now. Instead of just home runs or strikeouts.
Well, I think at the beginning of the year, the Jays were like the most shifting team, and they
still are. I think they still are.
They still are. Okay. Well, it's funny because they put like 4 people in outfield. It looks like a softball game. It's freaking funny. But whatever. Everyone's abusing it until it's gone, I guess.
Yep.
So do you think with this shift coming up, do you think we'll ever see a triple like this again?
I would know.
Probably not, unless it happens again this year, but it probably won't, because it's top of mind now. If you're a pitcher now and the same thing happens, you got to think, this happened like a month ago. I'm going to go cover third base.
I mean, it's not going to happen for Chicago again, but maybe another team.
But even that, like, people talk people watch Sports Center. This is
Dun-dun-dun,
people
dun-dun-dun.
listen to the Points and Penalties podcast. All right, people
That's
know
right.
this happened.
I mean, probably not. You might see one that's, you know, similar, but there'll probably be an overthrow is what that'd be the only
Error.
way you're probably gonna
Yeah.
see it,
but that's not
of-
typically called a triple then. at that
right,
point,
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, probably not. It's a little too crazy with the you know, the speed of the ball and just poking it out there, like literally just poking it out there a little bit.
But this should give reason to keep the shift because like people can do it. And look, this guy
Because it's fun.
got a triple from hitting it into shallow right field or left field.
Yeah, but the majority don't, right? And can't. Like there's reasons why they
Yes,
shift and stack the right or the left side, because that guy theoretically, you know, on probably 9 times out of 10 or whatever the numbers are on each guy, he can't hit it to the right side or to the left side. So you might as well load up. And like you said, take advantage now while you can if you're that type of team. You know, that being said, I mean, I don't think you really have to, you don't typically see everybody shifting to the left side of the infield. Like you don't often bring that second baseman past the second base anyway. So
I've seen it multiple times. The Jays have done it a lot too.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I just don't think in our case, I don't think you really need to worry about shifting to the left side of the infield because Matt Chapman is fucking amazing. Like everything looks easy for him over there. And just watched a little bit of it today, and like he had missed a couple from jumping up, and like he just missed the ball by like that much. It's like would have been awesome plays, and they probably would have won actually. But anyway, that's besides the point. So no, I don't think you'll see this triple again, just because it's too off the wall and with the shift changing. So
I mean, I'm pretty sure teams are still going to shift. They just like,
you just can't go on the other side of the second.
well,
That's the
exactly.
thing.
Somebody will stand a foot next to the second base.
Yeah.
And they'll be shifted, but not
I
as much, and it probably won't. You probably
Well, and you won't see the rover either. Like sometimes you get a third baseman go and be a rover or play like at the bag, and then the shortstop goes and plays a rover, right? You're probably not going to see that. So
yeah, I think it'd be, I don't know the exact rules behind the shift. I know that like the infield, you have to have 2 guys on each side of second base now. I don't know what it is for the outfield. Because that would be quite the, if you could send like, if it is
Well,
Brian
I mean-
Reynolds back up there again, you send your left fielder out there to right center, I guess you could say, or being the rover right there.
they'd probably say you can only have 2 outfielders on the same side as second, because it's definitely possible for the center fielder to play either side of the second base, right?
Yep.
So you're always going to be able to have 2 for sure. But
I mean,
I don't think they're going to bring the right fielder over on a righty batter to play rover. You know what I mean?
Well, you also push the center fielder more over
Well, yeah.
to cover all that.
I mean, I guess you could do that. You could push the right fielder or whatever field right as tight to the bag as possible, playing center field, and then you can move your center fielder over into left field to have 2 guys there. So I guess that's possible, but I just don't think you're going to see that as much, especially with most of the outfielders are pretty fucking speedy nowadays. So
that they are. All right. So we'll talk about everyone's favorite hockey team, the Leafs.
Kitchener
Peter?
Rangers, what?
Peter, why don't you let us know who the Leafs might be playing?
well, temperatures are rising. Spring is in the air. April's almost past, and we're just about ready to start the NHL playoffs and the Leafs' first round series. They're
It'll
almost
be short-lived. Don't worry.
fuck off. This is the year. Oh, you really have to laugh out loud. Anyway.
LOL. LOL.
So they're
LOL.
almost guaranteed to finish second in the Atlantic. They're not mathematically, but it's almost set in stone. They have 109 points currently, and they're firmly in control of second. Tampa's in third currently with 104, and Boston is in fourth with 101. So it's very likely that whoever finishes third in the Atlantic will be the Leafs opening round playoff opponent once they finish in second. They'll have home ice, which is good. And they can technically still fall like into the wild card, but it's very unlikely at this point.
They probably have to lose every game to do that.
Pretty
right?
much. They have to lose all the games. The other teams have to win all the games. It's not worth talking about until it
Till it happens.
until the 18-wheeler goes off the cliff like back in the day. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna finish second. And they're gonna play either Tampa or Boston. So Tampa, Leafs are 2-2 against this season. They won 2-1 in overtime in November. They lost 5-3 in December. They won 6-2 in April earlier, and they lost 8-1 just this week. Not good. Their remaining schedule is against Florida, who's won 13 straight, and then the Blue Jackets twice, and the Islanders. Tampa, of course, is the reigning back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. And they have never played the Leafs in the playoffs. Not once. Boston, Leafs are 2-0 against this season. They won 5-2 in November and won 6-4 in March. They play once more in the final game of the season.
Oh yeah, it's 8-game series.
So Boston's remaining schedule is the Habs, Florida, who have won 13 straight, the Sabres, and then, of course, the Leafs. So they have a bit lighter schedule. Both of their schedules are against pretty much Florida and non-playoff teams. But Boston's a little easier. And it's entirely possible, if Tampa falters a little bit, that final game against the Leafs could decide whether the Leafs play the Bruins or whether they play Tampa in that first round series. It could end up being that if the Bruins win, they play the Leafs. If the Bruins lose, the Leafs would play Tampa. So that would add some entertainment value for sure.
I think Boston's gonna be like, we want the Leafs.
Well, and the Leafs might say, we want Boston. We're gonna
play Boston in the playoffs.
We're gonna play.
Okay.
We're gonna play Kev's favorite goalie here. We're gonna call him up from the AHL.
Not just Bogey.
No.
Oh, Hutch. He likes Hutch.
Yeah.
Your best guy.
Yeah,
Hutch.
fuck, that guy's amazing. The guy's just got go. Oh my. Well, I
You
mean,
know?
I'd rather see Hutch than fucking Mrazek. I tell you what.
Maybe they play Mrazek just for you, Kev.
Fuck that guy. Fuck them both.
But so Boston, of course, has been the Leafs' nemesis, eliminating them in the first round of the playoffs in full 7-game series, always in a game 7. So over the past decade, it's been in 2018, 2019, and of course, the infamous 2013 4-1 late third period comeback. And of course, Zdeno Chara was on the Bruins for each of those playoff bouts, but he is no more. So of the two dragons the Leafs could slay, either their nemesis, the Boston Bruins, or the reigning Stanley Cup champion, the Tampa Bay Lightning, who would you rather see the Leafs face in the first round?
So before I ask you, so if they don't face Boston, does Boston play Florida?
No, they'll more likely play whoever wins the Metro Division, which is a race right now between Carolina and New York Rangers.
All right, and see Boston, man, they're a pounding team. They love the hit. They love the body. They love that physicality. Where Toronto's not. I would rather say the Lightning. I mean, it's a better matchup. I mean, you're not going to get hurt because these guys are not going out there to maim one another. They're going out there to play.
Don't let Tampa surprise you. They're not exactly a light team to play against either.
No, they're not.
They are a bit of a chippy team right now.
But they're not like Boston-esque, where, if Boston's down, they're just going to go after you. I think the better matchup that I would prefer to watch would be the Lightning in Toronto, and just hope whoever Boston plays hurts them a lot so Toronto can go through them easily.
If they even make it out of the first round.
Right.
Boston,
Well,
that is Boston.
That's what I was about to say, is that the Leafs only have 11 games. So what does it matter? A maximum of 11 games left this season. So what does it matter who they play?
They're your pick to win the cup.
I know. So I kind of agree with Kev on the sense that Tampa is probably a better matchup, but we had mentioned this before, Pete. I think you and I were going on about it a few weeks ago. This might be the dragon that they need to slay to get out of the first round and to kibosh all the chirping and all the chit chat, beat Boston in the first round, and you kill two birds with one stone. You beat Boston and you get out of the first round. Sounds like a fucking Stanley Cup to me if you do that. So, so that's I'm like I said, I think Tampa's probably the better matchup. Just because it'll be a high flying, high scoring game. It'll be a pretty crazy series that way. There'll be a lot of offense. Obviously, like you said, Kev, Boston is they're a pounding team. They're a little bit more defensive. But when you're 100 or 1,000% on them, or 100% against Boston, winning 2-0 already, you got one more to go, maybe 3-0. Maybe it's a special little omen here that the Leafs will end up maybe playing them in the first round, and
like playoffs are still a totally different story, though, man.
For sure,
they are
for sure. But I feel like this is, although a lot of the names are the same from last year, I feel like they've grown quite a bit. And although they have given up a bunch of shitty games in the end where they blow leads to lose, I just feel like I think they're going to be a better team, and I think they need Boston in the first round, and they better not fucking lose.
Yeah, if I'm a Leafs fan, I would be picking Boston. You're 2-0 against them. I know they still got another game. You just lost to Tampa, who's gonna win the Stanley Cup anyways.
Oh,
they had their backup. They had their
Easy.
backup in there when they lost 8-1.
Yeah.
funny.
Still really embarrassing. Was he in for all 8 goals?
Real, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They were
That's
not pulling
rough.
him.
They were
It
not
was-
putting. They were
it
not
was,
putting Campbell in there.
It was a rest game that they're not. It was, yeah, they were not pulling him. But real quick anecdote on that. There's a thing called the deserve to win-o-meter, which is
What?
basically it's from a website. I don't have it offhand, but it's because hockey is such a game driven by sort of random chance. You might score, you might not, you might miss by an inch. There's a deserve to win-o-meter that tracks like good scoring chances, and it's a meter that says, this team deserves to win. If you simulated this game 1,000 times, this team is more likely to win. And the Leafs were actually 51-point-something% favorites on the deserve to win-o-meter in this game. They lost 8-1.
I think it might be broken.
LOL.
The Leafs had a 51% or whatever chance to win this game, but they ended up losing.
Deserve a chance to win.
Deserve a chance to win.
Yeah. So that either means that their goaltending was bad. Tampa's goaltending was great. A little bit of both. Tampa just was really good at executing their scoring chances, whatever.
Power play, bro. Power play.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. Just thought I'd throw that in there just for fun. Carry on, Jesse.
Well, like I said, I think that you would want to play Boston because you guys are 2-0 against them. And like you guys have said, it's the dragon that needs to be slayed. They can't win it again, can they?
I mean, shit. They didn't even use LTIR that much this year.
I thought it was Tampa that did that last year.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about Boston. All right. Anyways,
So I'm with you guys too. If I had to pick just straight, which team would you rather play? It's got to be Boston. I think they're not as good of a team as Tampa Bay is. And stylistically, I don't think there's that big of a difference. You guys mentioned that Boston plays a heavier game. I think Tampa actually plays a pretty heavy game, and they have better scoring. They have better high-end talent. I think you have a better chance against Boston. And again, without Zdeno Chara, because apparently in the playoffs, he just is allowed to do whatever. And it's no big deal. He's gone now. I think the path to glory and to slay the dragon, get the demons out of their heads is to go through Boston. But equally, I think going through Tampa would be some serious juju to
knock out the champs. Get rid of them.
Knock out the back-to-back champs. And if you remember, before Tampa became the back-to-back champs, they were swept by Columbus in the first round. So maybe that's a similar kick in the dick to what the Leafs had last year, losing to
There's
Montreal.
not a chance the Leafs are sweeping anybody in the
I'm
first
not-
round.
There's definitely not a sweep.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're going to sweep them. I'm just saying that after Tampa got swept, they went on to win back-to-back championships. Last year, the Leafs got not swept, but they got badly beaten by Montreal after they were up 3-1 in the series that they should have won.
Well, basically, they got swept. It was just a backhand sweep.
I would rather have them be swept almost. But they may be in the same place mentally, is all I'm trying to say, as Tampa was 2 years ago, going into their first cup run. So,
Do they currently have anybody on LTIR, the Leafs? Because that's going to be a bonus if they do.
No.
Bring him back.
Mrazek might be.
Yeah, well, he's not going to make
It's what the money does.
it. Just keep him on LTIR then. You're still hurt, right, bud?
Yeah.
No, I'm
So-
good. Jeez, what? Yo, you're still hurt, right?
Yeah. We're gonna put you on waivers. Oh fuck, we gotta pick you back up. God damn it.
Yeah. So one last question before we move off of this. We had a couple Bostons, a couple Tampas there, I think, as the teams we would like to see Toronto face. Do you think they can actually beat them? Do you think they'll win?
Just
Quick,
being
easy
straight up.
answer from Jess. Is it you?
I don't know. I don't know what that meter's doing.
Servo
I
meter.
don't know. I would like to, but I don't think they do it. Either who they face. If they face Boston, they face Tampa. They're not gonna get it first round.
Oof. Yosh.
Man, I got to be more positive than that, especially after calling them to win. So, yeah, I'm going to say they get out of it. It's likely going to be a 6 or 7 game series, no matter who they face. But I think they battle through some adversity. And yeah, they're going to get it done this year. I know.
You were drunk when you made that selection. You're like, you're getting it already.
Maybe not. Might
And,
be right
uh,
now already. Who knows?
And I don't think Austin will get his 60.
That's the other thing,
Oh,
too.
come on.
Like Kev had said when we were talking about it, Kev's like, oh, he's going to drop right off. And I'm like, no. And he has dropped off. Like
He hasn't played. He's been hurt.
How long has he been out, though?
3 games.
2 or 3 games, yeah.
Yeah, so he would have played a few games prior to that, but maybe he was kind of hurt type thing before actually saying I'm done and I got to sit down for a couple.
Yeah, and he's been like when he's been playing great. He maybe hasn't converted on all his chances, but he's right there. So
Oh yeah. No,
I'm pretty confident he's going to get to 60. He won't get to 65 or whatever I said just because he missed the time, but
Yeah.
I think he'll get to 60. He's probably popped two against Boston in the final game.
Boom. So what do you think, B? Do you think they're going to win?
I think so. I think whether they play Boston or Tampa, I think Tampa is I think they're feeling the fatigue of 2 back-to-back long playoff runs. I don't think they're a team that can have the legs to compete with the Leafs in a 7-game series because they're fresh. They don't go on deep playoff runs. And I think they can beat Boston pretty handily. I think the Bruins are not the same team they once were, even though the rule completely changes in the playoffs, and it's going to be extremely frustrating, I'm sure. I still think they can. The game is still won on the scoreboard, and I still think the Leafs can outscore and outdefend the Bruins, and they'll win in a 7-game series. I don't even know if that would go to 7. Tampa would though.
Huh.
And that's that.
That is that. Well, I mean, at least you're choosing them to win too. Like, you're the hardcore hockey guy on this fucking panel here, so you better have fucking chosen
And
your
I
team.
do not have any bias whatsoever.
No,
Nope, none.
As we've got fucking all of our Toronto sports team shirts and hats on today.
But it's all blue chip. Nothing leaves here.
I got leaves, but I don't think it's
ignore
like-
that.
Those
right
got
there.
leaves, but not leaves.
I mean, close enough. We'll take it, Kev.
Thanks.
We'll take it. So that does it for the Leafs. We may have a little more NHL action in our MVP coming up. This week's MVP, going back to the NHL, because why not? Roman Josi. Roman Josi, defenseman, Nashville Predators.
I'm not Roman, man. You're saying Roman Yoshi? What? I'm not. Are you Roman? Part English, part Native American. Not Roman.
No Italian blood in.
No, not Italiano.
It's not Levertoni. It's Levertone.
It used to be Levertoni in the FIFA or not FIFA. Yeah, FIFA game. It was Levertoni. And actually, my team was Roma.
There you go.
There you go.
It all comes full circle.
Yeah.
Anywho, Roman Josi became the first NHL blue liner to reach 90 points in a single season since Hall of Famer Ray Bourque dropped 91 in the 93-94 season. So although Josi is having one of the most proficient seasons for a defenseman in just about 30 years, he might still not win the Norris, as Cale Makar is also having an outstanding season and is scoring more goals. And it's a tight race between the two, but I think Cale Makar is still actually the favorite. But besides that, Roman Josi, we're doing the first 90-point season by a defenseman in almost 30 years. Cheers to you, buddy.
That's
You're
a feat, man. That's definitely
It
a
is.
feat.
Yeah, man, it's for sure good.
For especially the blue liner.
Oh yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Roman.
You didn't notice some idiot cracked their beer before.
One of us, who shall not be named, may have opened their beer earlier than the MVP segment accidentally,
Whoops.
but nobody noticed when I've heard 4 distinct sounds. So
Yeah. I'm sure on the audio only, they won't be able to tell.
no, not at all.
No.
Even the video, I was subtle. So moving off of that topic, why don't we get into what's going on in the NBA playoffs? Josh, what is happening?
Well, if you remember last episode, which was 2 weeks ago, as we did take that Easter break, the playoffs were just about to start, and it was the play-ins, and we had taken our picks on who the teams that were going to move on through the play-in.
Let's go
And-
Clippers.
Just wanted to quickly recap those. So Peter and Jesse, they picked 2 out of the 4 teams that did end up moving through, and Kevin and I chose 3 teams that moved through. So Kev took the T-Wolves, the Nets, the Pelicans, and then he had the Cavs who lost. Pete, your 2 were the Nets and the Pelicans that moved through, but you also had the Cavs and your aforementioned Clippers. Jess, you had the T-Wolves and the Nets making it through, Clip and Cav missing out, and I had the T-Wolves, the Nets, and the Hawks going through, with the Clip missing out. Now, I will say that we would all have done a lot better if Paul George would have played in the last game if he didn't get COVID.
Yeah.
In that game, they easily would have won that game, I think, with Paul George. They only lost by 2 buckets, I think it was. So for sure, the Clip got burned by the old Rona on that one, and we didn't get to see Kawhi, but that was, good for me and Kev, getting 3 out of the 4 right.
I mean, I was gonna have the exact same thing as you, so I switched to the Cavs.
I mean, that sounds like a you problem.
That sounds like an excuse. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an excuse. That's what I'm saying.
All right, so moving past that, obviously we've had the current matchups in the playoffs. You know, Suns, Pelicans, Grizz, T-Wolves, Warriors, Nuggets, Mavs, Jazz in the West, Heat, Hawks, Celtics, Nets, Bucks, Bulls, Sixers, Raptors in the East. We've had 2 games so far today, and there is one currently on and one going on in a little bit. So, you know, there's been quite a few really, really good games, physical games, tight games, back and forth.
You're allowed to have physical games in the NBA now?
There seem to be, yeah.
Not against Philly though.
Yeah, not in our
Yeah,
series.
yeah. But and a lot of close games. And then obviously there's been, you know, a good number of blowouts where games are just over quite early. So out of, you know, what we've seen so far, what do you guys think the biggest surprise has been to date in the playoffs? That is.
So for me, it's the Nuggets going down 3-0. Like I'm pretty sure I picked the Nuggets to upset in this series, and I thought they would be right in there and competing a lot better than they were. And for them to go down 3-0, they got one win back today. Hopefully they can turn around a little bit, but that's a big surprise for me that they just been basically dummied by the Warriors.
Pete, you are correct. You did take the Nugs to win that series.
Wait, the swing and a miss.
Now with the Nugs,
It's not over, Jesse.
No, with the Nugs,
But
with our pick in regards to, you know, MVP. I mean, if the Nuggets go out, does that go to basically Bitch is going to get it?
No,
No.
I think it's only for the regular season.
Regular season?
Yeah,
right.
nothing to do with the playoffs.
All right. Because I think we have a new bitch in regards to
We got a new name for sure. Got a new nickname, 100%.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a few minutes for sure.
My biggest surprise is the T-Wolves. Like, I know Grizzlies, like, they got some young players, but this is the second seed team. They should be a lot better, and T-Wolves are just playing them tough, and that is my biggest shocker right now. I did not see that coming.
So you're saying that like, the T-Wolves are playing above your expectations?
Yes. So that's like, it makes for good basketball because, like, typically, like you guys said, like the play in, like the clip probably should have gotten in if they had Paul George, but
yeah.
And they were like what, like the 7th or 8th seed or something like that, starting in the play in.
7, I believe. Yeah.
So it just, to me, like it's the play in. Like, so typically, like, I guess you could say, like, yeah, the Pelicans got in, but they were missing some superstars there for the clip. But yeah, I would say that would be my biggest surprise is the T-Wolves being there, because I did not expect them to do as well as they are against the Grizzlies.
I would have to go with the Mavericks and the Jazz. I mean, it's 2 great teams. I mean, I think the Mavs should have been destroying the Jazz, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know about destroying. I think they're very evenly matched, and I mean, I've got the Mavs to take this series, but
Everybody does except for me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you need to get something big after picking the Nuggets.
Yep.
So yeah, initially my big surprise was the same as yours, Pete, with the Nuggets, but just for the sake of being a little different, I'm gonna go and say the Nets is my biggest surprise here, that they have not won a game and they haven't really played the greatest. They haven't played as a unit, team unit. Obviously, you know, it's a 2-man race there. It's a two horse carriage over there between KD and Kyrie, and if one of those guys isn't going, there's not a whole lot of top end scoring on that team other than those two. So and that's exactly what's happening. They haven't had a whole lot of luck against Boston. So.
Now, does Simmons come out and play this one then?
No. I don't think Simmons plays at all this year, no matter how deep they go.
He was rumored. He was rumored to be maybe going to play in Game 4, but I think he's out now.
Yeah, because they said something about him being like playing, like it's like a year gone by since he's played and touched the ball.
I mean, he's touched balls, but since then. Well, I mean, basketball.
The game ball. The game ball.
What the fuck? Get your mind out of the gutter, guys. Jeez. All right. So, as we mentioned, the Warriors were up 3-0. The Celtics were up 3-0. And the shitty Philadelphia 76ers were up 3-0.
Boo!
I'm not sure if the Bucks were up 3-0. I don't think
they were. They
No.
weren't. They weren't.
So other than the Nets still being 3-0, the rest are now 3-1 in their series. And no team has ever come back to win a series in the NBA being down 3-0. So do you think that any of these four teams that are down by a couple games here and are on the verge of elimination, do you think any of them can put enough pressure that would potentially make these other four teams lose? Do you think one of these teams can come back to win in either of their series? Nuggets, Nets, Bulls, Raps.
So it's happened in all the other, I guess the other two major sports that have 7-game series.
Mhm.
And it's about damn time it happens in the NBA. And homerism aside, I think realistically, the team that has the best chance to pull it out, I think, is the Raptors. With Scotty coming back and with Trent coming back from injury, I know he played, but he was not playing 100%. I think if you get those two guys really firing on all cylinders, you keep Siakam and OG playing the way that they've been playing, get a little contribution from the other guys, I think the Raptors may have the best chance out of this group to make a serious effort here at a comeback and being down 3-0 and coming back to win the series.
I'm gonna agree with you on that. I don't think they will come back, but they definitely have the best chance. I agree. I understand it should happen sometime. I don't think it's gonna happen this year, sadly, just because,
or at least not this round.
Well, yeah. Well, just this year, I don't think it's gonna happen. But it's for me, for the Raptors to come back, like they played them tough, and they should have won Game 3. It was a hard fought game, and they definitely should have won. Fucking Embiid was crazy good that day, and our superstar was terror awful. So,
and we just needed a few free throws.
Yep.
We'll get to that in a second.
But yeah, I don't think anyone's going to do it, even the Raptors. But the Raptors probably have the best chance. They played them two great games in a row, and I'm probably betting they're going to do the third. Is Freddie going to be playing the next?
I don't know.
Game 5?
I don't know. I kind of, if he's hurt and he can't play to even half or 3/4 of his capabilities, I think he needs to be on the bench. And you have to. There's a lot of. We have some depth on the bench, and I realize it's not Freddie VanVleet, but I'd rather have 100% guys out there than.
I think I'd rather VanVleet. I mean, I get what you're saying, that he has not been playing to the VanVleet standard.
But if he can't get back on defense for running back, I mean, it's his hip. He's got to be able to run.
Right. It's more of his offense that's been a struggle. And maybe the hip that's injured now is going to keep him out. I don't know. But if he's been playing through this, I don't know if he has or not, or if it's a new injury.
I think he's been a little bit hurt, but it is a new injury that's happening now.
Yeah. But if, like, the struggle with Fred, from what I see anyway, has been his offense. It just hasn't been to his standard. I think I still rather see him in the game, though, than like Malachi Flynn or somebody.
I mean, Flynn's not going to be the guy that comes in. You're going to see Boucher, or people just rotate around.
Yeah.
Boucher's probably the next man up for more minutes.
He'll play more minutes, but he's not starting. I don't think. I think you go with Kem and you get Barnes.
Well, yeah.
But
I mean, if,
I think Boucher's coming off the bench for sure, but he's definitely the first one. And then you also got Precious, who's been lighting it up.
Yeah.
So
except for free throws, yeah. We'll get to that in a second. Like I said,
I keep waiting.
I just am shocked about that no one has ever done it. It is pretty difficult to see this, but hopefully it happens. It's not going to happen this time, but hopefully it happens.
No,
Yeah.
I kind of agree here, guys. I mean, if there's anybody that can do something, it'd probably be the Raptors. I don't see it happening. It's something that's never happened. I don't think it will. But I mean, Raptors do have a better chance than the Nuggets or the Nets.
See, I don't know, man. Like the Nets can turn it all around, and like I said, if you get Kyrie and KD just nailing buckets from all over the place, they can take games over like crazy. Now, I realize that Boston has been playing very well, through the playoffs and even through the last month or so of the season. And obviously they've been playing pretty well all year, but so it's going to be difficult. But those two guys combining can really take a game over, and more so than anybody on the Raptors or any two guys on the Raptors.
Yep.
So I kind of lean towards them, but at the same time, because the Celtics have been playing so good, I don't think that they're going to. I don't think they're going to beat them at this point. Although I did, I did say back a few episodes ago the Nets were going to do well once they get into the playoffs, but they just haven't clicked. They've had a rough go all year with gelling. And then when I look at the Nuggets, and I'm like, man, like you have the MVP, and there's just not much that they can do against Steph and the Warriors. They just, they played a pretty good game today. They were up about 12, and then they let the Warriors come back. They ended up pulling it out, but they let the Warriors back into it, and it was within a point. I'm pretty sure it might have even been tied right near the end within like a minute to go type thing. So maybe the Raps do have the best chance. They did play very well against the Sixers throughout the season. Obviously, Game 4, after going down 3-0 and you're at home, pretty much know that's going to be a W, because there's no chance that those guys are going to allow the away team to get a W there. But going back to Philly now is a totally different story. They got to play really fucking tough to get a W. Like I said, Jess, it might not happen this year. I'd like to see it, but it might not happen. A team coming back to win here. So, but this is what it is. Not much we can do about it as fans. We can wear our fucking We the North shirts, and that's about it, right?
I blame DeLine. He didn't chant defense loud enough.
Oh, that's probably it. Yeah, he was at one of the games there, and
he was at Game 3.
Game 3.
Yeah.
So now let's just move right into the Raptors. We've already touched on some of the stuff here. And obviously we're, like you said, Pete, the homerism, that's what we do here.
We are completely unbiased.
We like to talk about our
Program.
teams. Yeah. So my first thought throughout the 4 games is the officiating. Do you think, okay, so I agree with the but how do you rank, or not necessarily rank, but how do you feel about the officiating over the course of the 4 games? Obviously, after the first 2 games, I know exactly how we all felt, but now that it's been 4 games and, the whistle has gone a little bit more towards the Toronto way a little bit, maybe more so than it did in the first 2 games. How do you feel about the reffing and the officiating overall?
Bullshit, man. I mean, if the guy can come across half court and call a timeout, I mean, you can't. That coach could not cross half court and call a timeout, which he did, and they gave it to him with no technical, nothing in regards to the free throws. So
and they won the game off that timeout.
Yeah. Had that been called the technical foul, the Raps would have won that game.
So I mean, like right there. I mean, I don't know, man. Like it's just the reffing. I think that's because it's Toronto. I mean, we're the only Canadian team, and they don't want us there.
I don't think that is why. I think it's just
we don't have like a real big superstar. Like SCP is our superstar, but he's not close to the level of Harden and Embiid.
yeah. Like I don't buy into the conspiracy theory stuff that Kev is alluding to. That it's Canada and fuck those guys.
It's a conspiracy theory. Kev's gonna definitely go.
Fuck the North. I think it's just the games are just poorly officiated to start the series. I think games 3 and 4 were more even. They still owe us 2. I don't think games 3 and 4 were in the Raps' favor. They were just more even. So hopefully the next 2 games they call in our favor, and it's the first ever comeback from 3-0. That's my crystal ball. That's what I see.
That'd be fucking sweet, man.
Put some money.
And they'll cry bullshit, and the reffing was terrible, and blah blah blah.
The reffing is terrible.
And I will play. No, I'm talking Philly now after the next 2 games, and I'll play the world's smallest violin for them.
Well, and I mean, they already have Embiid. Was at the end of last game, he was clapping for the refs. Yeah. Because he wasn't chirping them per se with his words, but giving them a sarcastic clap is just as much as chirping them. So evidently he is on the opposite of where he thought that the last couple games seemed to have gone more calls went Toronto's way. I didn't look up the actual numbers, but I believe that they were much more even as opposed to Toronto's way. I think if anything, they probably more calls probably still went to Philly, but we just actually hit some free throws.
I didn't see game 4, but game 3 I thought was pretty even. I thought the refs did a pretty good job in game 3.
Except for the timeout call.
Yeah, except for that. Yeah, that big fuck up. But other than that, it was still a pretty good game called, I thought. And we still had another chance. Like we had a chance to not allow the refs to make that decision too. So
yeah, at the end of the day, you want the players to decide who wins, not the officials.
Yes, but we should have fucking fit. We shouldn't have been in overtime anyways.
We'll get to that. Or are we there? Are we there now?
Not quite yet.
So I thought it was good for game 3, and then game 4 I didn't watch it, so hopefully it was pretty good. But
yeah, it wasn't horrible.
Yeah. I think Embiid needs to stop throwing some elbows. Like, he gets away with fucking everything with these.
All right, so I'll skip my next question and jump to my first question, jump to the second one, and on thoughts on what Siakam says was Embiid, or at least I will affectionately call him now Bitch. We have a little bitch and we've got Bitch. Because he complains. He's the biggest guy in the fucking court, and he still bitches and moans about everybody and everything. But Siakam after game 4 said that basically, paraphrasing, he said that Bitch is playing dirty. And so Jess, you had mentioned the elbows, and so are you agreeing with Pascal there, saying that yeah, he is playing a bit dirty with these bows?
Yeah, I personally think he is, and like, again, he's a superstar. He gets that attention, but he also, him throwing those elbows around, like, I get he's a big guy, he's got a big frame and everything like that, but you can't be doing that. Like, we're barely touching him, and then he's falling over.
Yeah,
probably why. I know you got a question with the thumb injury, but probably why his thumb's sore is it's sore from catching that big body onto the fucking court.
That's a good take.
So yeah. I don't necessarily think he's playing really. I don't know if I call it dirty. I think he's being a bitch with the flops, for sure. That's why then there's more eyes. So it's not just Bitch, it's Beach. But I mean, I can't even blame the guy for starting to throw bows, because if the officials are not gonna call him on this kind of thing, You're going to push the limit, see what you can get away with. And if they're not calling it, keep pushing the line. If we're in the playoffs, players are doing competing the best they can for their teams. If he can get himself a little bit of extra space by throwing some bows and it doesn't get called, he's going to keep doing it. I don't blame him for that.
I know, but is that not dirty? Like, you're just pretty much saying he's getting away with fucking murder here. Like,
I mean, that's not on him though. Like, is it dirty? I don't know. He's trying to get
question
himself
is,
some
yeah.
space. I don't think it's that dirty. I think it should be called. I think the officials should be calling it. But I wouldn't expect any less from a Raptors player if they are driving the paint hard and that's what they try and do to make some space and it gets scot-free. Okay, that's the playoff rules. It's all fair game, so keep it up. So
you're telling the Raptors to be doing that too now.
Why not? If it's fucking fair game.
Peter's like, get everyone playing dirty.
I'm not saying be dirty. I'm not saying fucking.
But that's what this is.
I'm not. I don't know if it really is though. I'm not saying get a guy in the face with your fucking bow. I don't think that's what he's doing.
It's not the UFC here, bro. It's basketball.
I know, but he's not. I see the guy getting in some space, competing hard. I think he's crossing the line, and I don't think it's getting called. So,
I think what they need to do the next time they throw an elbow and bitch is that they have to do what Bosch does or did, or it didn't even come anywhere near his face and just go oh and hit the ground.
No, man, I don't like that because then you're gonna, if it's that fake, you're gonna get yourself a foul or like a technical, and we can't give up free fucking shots. So
yeah, see what I would do is I would go full fucking Jordan rules on. Like, okay, they're not getting called. We're gonna start fouling you hard, real hard.
So you're gonna say go to that to Detroit, make what they had go to Jordan rules?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree.
Not quite to that extent because obviously we're in a different era, but
right. Yeah.
If you're gonna get a foul on and bitch, you might as well.
Which they are every single time, even when it's all ball, they're still getting fouled.
Then if you're gonna do that, man, you're gonna swat at that thumb. That's what I'd be doing. If
Yeah.
I'm gonna foul him, I'm gonna smack that thumb every single time.
this series is over if Embiid is out. The Raps will come back if Embiid is out for the rest of the season.
I agree.
He's still
with
playing,
you
but
if he's done, Raps got a great chance to come back into that series for sure.
They've definitely have been able to contain Harden, and Maxey has had some good stretches. He had a good game. I think it was in game 2. I think he had a hell of a game.
I thought it was both the first 2 games. He was pretty good.
Yeah, and maybe I think you're right. The first game he had a half decent game too, and his speed is what has killed the Raptors. It's sure he's got some skill too, but he is so fucking quick, and he just all of a sudden he'll take the ball at half court and just all of a sudden he's under the basket. He's just he's just by you like holy fuck, where'd he go? Fucking Speedy Gonzalez. So
it looks like they got ankle weights.
So I don't 100% know if what Embiid is doing is, dirty. If it's after the whistle, then that's definitely dirty. The extra shots here and there. But I agree, Pete. I think that the Raps need to start playing a little tougher, play a little harder. Kem Birch is a big dude. Precious is a big dude. Start playing a little harder on him.
Smack that thumb.
Yeah,
smack that thumb.
Start making life hell for him, bitch, and hopefully he gets him off his game. He had a hell of a shot there on that inbound.
Which, by the way, if we're going there, they should have pressured.
They should
the inbound pass.
That was dumb. Yeah,
for sure.
And somehow Freddie was at one guarding and beat. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not gonna. Jesus Christ! They doubled. They doubled him, and then one guy got caught on a screen, and then there was Freddie. He's like, "I'll guard you." No, just put him against the fucking the inbound guy, right?
Yeah, like in that case, like Boucher probably should have been on. And Boucher's a great defender. I think he's, because Barnes is out. I probably would have put Barnes on Embiid. Barnes would be on Embiid every fucking play if he was playing. But yeah, man, 100%. But yeah, I think you gotta inbound guy. You gotta why why have a short guy? Like, put a big tall motherfucker there. Make
That's
it
right.
really difficult, right?
Right.
So, but
And that's exactly what they did because right after that we had an inbound to
mhm.
try and make the same magic happen. And of course it fizzled to nothing because our inbound was pressured and we had to do a little stupid lob
Well,
that went
yeah.
nowhere.
So
Anywho.
talking about Scotty Barnes covering Embiid, and that's where I think he should be when he's on the court. Now, Kev, I know you're gonna love this because our last episode we talked about Scotty Barnes for a long time, and you kept asking us if we're still talking about Scotty Barnes. Well, guess what, bud? 2 weeks later, we're still talking about Scotty Barnes.
We're still talking about the fucking rookie of the year.
We still are talking about the rookie of the year.
I never had any doubt. I
sorry.
never had any doubt.
Oh,
Rookie of the year. Yeah,
So
whatever, Pedro.
if you remember, and I'm sure our listeners remember because we did talk about it so long last episode, 3 of the 4 of us were smart, 1 not so much. 3 took Scotty Barnes to win the rookie of the year, the Roy. 1 took some motherfucking goof from Cleveland.
Got second.
Say second place the first loser, man. If you're not
Yeah.
first, you're last.
last.
Right?
That's right.
So Scotty Barnes wins the rookie of the year. He was presented with his rookie of the year glass basketball on Saturday night. I don't know if you guys saw it. It looks like, remember those mini basketballs that you used to get? They look like one of those, except fucking glass and expensive as fuck, right? As opposed to an $8 basketball. Look really cool.
I'm gonna say challenge. It's not glass. It's actually crystal.
Oh, you're probably right. You're probably right, but I was generalizing there. But anyway, somebody else can look that up. So he was fighting back tears as on like the jumbotron. The other 2 Raptor Rookie of the Years had announced him and talked about him and whatnot. So Vince actually made the announcement, and then David Stoudemire, gave him a little shout out and whatnot. I will say that I did not like Mighty Mouse's fucking attire. The stupid ass. He was wearing a Boston Celtics fucking hoodie. I'm like, are you fucking stupid, bud? Like, you are announcing the rookie of the year for a Toronto Raptor. You used to be a Raptor. You're telling me you don't have a fucking Raptor hoodie in your closet?
Or a jersey?
Like, or just wear a black shirt or something. Like, you don't wear a Boston Celtics phone. That's bullshit. So I was a little upset with Mighty Mouse on that one. But yeah, so as I said, that Scotty was fighting back a little bit of tears, but well deserved. Was saying it for a long time that he should be the rookie of the year.
I think all of us have been saying that. Yes.
Not you.
Not you.
So as we know now, Scotty has been back, but he played in the first game of this 7-game series, and he was 2 helpers away from getting a triple-double in his first ever playoff game, which would have been pretty cool. Of course, that did not happen because Mr. Joel Embiid decided to come down and land on his foot, which in turn, as Scotty was trying to get away, move type thing, he rolled his ankle and was out with that sprained ankle, missing 2+ games, a bit of their first game there, and then second and third, and then got back in on Saturday, and he didn't play. He played like 25 minutes. Didn't put a whole lot of points up and whatnot, but I think just being back was big. Being able to, being able to just to be back and to have his presence there on the court and to help the guys out as opposed to just being in street clothes. I think that really helps out the Raps, and I think he's our best defensive player. And that's what, that's why I think he should be on Embiid all the time. So hopefully, he did roll it again on Saturday night. He was hobbling around a little bit, but he did end up finishing the game. Again, they only put him in for 25 minutes, so it wasn't a crazy tough game for him in terms of minutes. But hey, we got our rookie of the year, third in franchise history, and couldn't be happier for Scotty and our Toronto Raptors in that sense.
For sure.
the announcement, the way he was told was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
With Vince Carter getting on the TV while at practice and saying there's only been 3 Rookie of the Years on the Raptors, Mighty Mouse, Air Canada,
And now,
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing, of course.
Thanks, Tips. All right. So in this series, we have, we've seen some flashes of good play by the Raps. We've seen flashes of bad play by the Raps, and we've seen flashes of surprise play by the Raps. So I'm just curious who you guys think, sorry, are the best, worst, and the biggest surprise players, or the biggest surprise scenario type thing that has happened in this series, more specifically with players looking towards the Raptors.
I'll start first this one, I guess, guys. I'm going to go spicy with regards to our best. I mean, Fred VanVleet has not been doing so well. I'll put him as our worst. And my big surprise is that they're down 3-1.
Really, they were down 3-0.
Right, 3-0 at that point, but 3-1. That's what the series is at now. So
yeah. So I'm with you. Spicy's been our best, and you want your best player to be your best player, and he has been. So that's promising. For me, the worst is the supporting cast around Spicy and OG. And granted, Scotty and Gary Trent have been hurt, although Gary Trent's been playing.
He's been sick.
He's been sick, and it showed.
Yeah.
But I think if those 2 guys can get back to a good health and seriously contribute, and you get some contributions out of your big men, I think that's what the team needs to if they're going to have a chance at pulling out this series. And my surprise has been OG. With those aforementioned guys being hurt, he seriously stepped up as, I think, the Raps' second best player. And it's good to see that from OG. We've known he'd had that potential, but it's for me, it's a bit of a surprise to see him really contributing in the playoffs, and it's a good surprise. And hopefully he keeps it up.
See, to me, it's not really a surprise because he's our 3rd best player.
Yeah, but he was kind of hurt coming into the series too. So and the way that he's played, so I have Spicy P as my best too. But at the same time, I was giving him a lot of, you guys all saw it. I was giving him a lot of shit. I'm like, he is our best player. He needs to do better. And he hasn't.
Second half of game 3 was not a good half for Spicy.
No, and he really hasn't been that good in the first 2 games either. He's been solid for sure, but not Spicy P. So OG coming into this, especially the game 3, he was doing everything. He was shooting those clutch threes. He was driving the lane, getting right into Embiid's face, and then passing it off quick to Precious. He was playing amazing in game 3. He was trying to will them to win that because Spicy P wasn't doing much. Neither was Freddie. Freddie would, but again, he's hurt too. So that's why I think you can say that OG is a surprise, because he's part of my surprise as well, because he was hurt coming into this. Obviously, his quarter-own shots are working well. I think VanVleet needs to get that too, though.
Yeah, so we're all on the same page with the best. Spicy has been the best. Maybe not great numbers. He did have 24 points in the first game, 20 in the second. He had 12 points in the first half, I'm pretty sure, of the 3rd game, and I don't think he got anything in the second half. And then put up 34.
Challenge. He did have stuff in the second half of the game. That's what the game 3 you're talking about.
Game
right?
3, yeah. I don't think he put any points up in the second half.
I think he did. I'm gonna challenge you on that.
All right, that's fine. 34 points in the 4th game, which was obviously top notch. For me, the worst is Freddie VanVleet. And again, yes, he has been sore. He had his knee before all this, and now the hip. You saw him be frustrated with ripping his jersey on Saturday night. But my issue here is, and I understand that you're trying to help your team, and if you're the 3-ball guy and you're trying to just put up threes, but he's shooting 33% from 3-point land. He's typically a 40% shooter, which I know isn't a whole lot of difference, but I feel like from watching this game, there was a lot of ill-advised 3-point shots going up for Freddie VanVleet in this series. He's just, there's been times where he could have drove, but I get it. Maybe because of his injuries, he can't. So he just pulls up and takes that 3. But it's kind of on Nick Nurse too here. Like if he can't play, if he can't drive and make that better decision that this is the time to drive, then I think he needs to bench him. And I do not want to see him on the bench, but if you can put in, especially the way the Precious has been playing, like you said, OG's been good. Like I said, I just think Freddie's been the worst, but he definitely, there's an asterisk there because of his injury, but it's kind of on Nick here as well to make sure that he's in at least 80% if he's going to be out there as much as he is. My surprise is Precious. He, with the extra playing time over the past little bit, like I said, just with OG being out, Freddie's been hurt, so he's getting extra time. Gary Trent was sick, so he's getting, there's all kinds of extra time there. Precious has played great, with the exception of his free throws.
Hey, we made it.
We made it. We got to it. And so it just drives me crazy because, the timeout stuff that we were talking about with Doc Rivers running across half and the shot by Embiid with 0.9 to go, that might not have made a difference if Precious makes a couple clutch free throws. And he didn't. So no matter what happens, whether on Monday they win or lose, if they win, they play probably likely Wednesday, I would think. And if they lose or they win, doesn't matter. Whenever it is off season for the Raptors, and whenever Precious is not playing a game, he needs to be shooting free throws. I don't care if he gets no sleep. The man needs to fucking shoot free throws because you cannot throw up bricks in clutch time. Like you gotta hit at least one.
Yeah, so I don't.
He shoots threes. Like how can he not like a fucking free throw?
Okay. I don't think
Gotta
it's
hit
because I don't think it's because the man can't shoot free throws. I think he's a really young kid, and this is a high leverage, high pressure situation. And I think the pressure just got to him. It's
big.
The hardest part of shooting free throws when you're in the NBA is the pressure. It's not shooting free throws. You're in the NBA, you can shoot free throws. Shaq's not there anymore. It's
But Shaq,
Precious looked like Shaq. Let me tell you.
But the Shaq, it was like a volleyball. It was like a volleyball to Shaq. It wasn't a basketball to him, man. The fucking guy's hand is huge.
It was a tennis ball to Shaq. But to me, it was the pressure of that moment that was the downfall for Precious. And I think he'll learn and he'll grow from that. He's only he's 22 or something. Like he's
young for sure.
I think that's all that is, and he'll learn from that moment, and I think he'll be better next time.
I mean, there was a high leverage free throws that he made. He made 1 out of 2 in game 4 that he definitely needed to make. So he got 1 out of 2. That's 50% better than he did before.
Way better than 0.
But I still think he's only I think they said he was a 56 or 59% free throw shooter on the season.
I think it was in the 50s.
Yeah,
that's pretty rough.
So that's not good. And that's where I'm going. That's what I'm saying. He needs to step his game up.
I rescind my previous comment.
So Precious has definitely been my surprise because, and I'm pretty sure I put in our little group chat. I said maybe this Lowry trade wasn't so bad after all, because Precious is turning out to be, don't get me wrong, love Lowry, and Lowry at this point is a better player, but
also a bit injured right now with his quad or something like that.
Yeah, he's on the bench today in the Heat game, but But if Precious can keep playing the way he's been playing, and if this is the new norm with hopefully a lot of free throw practice over the summer, I'd be, as much as you hate to get rid of Kyle, you have to at some point, and this maybe again trust in Masai. And we didn't think at the beginning, like Jess, I think you were the big guy. You're like, who the fuck? Like these guys got nobody. This is horrible, but it's turning out to be, at least at this point, okay. It's not horrible anymore. So for me, Precious has been the surprise, and I'm okay with it.
I mean, he's been playing really good too, even before the series started. And I think he just needs to continue doing that and taking to the rim, because like he's our next biggest guy can take on Imbic.
Yeah.
And I think he needs to continue doing that. He got hardened to foul out for that last free throw. So it was, to me, when I saw that call, I was like, ugh. I thought Embiid fouled him more, but I'm glad it went to Harden.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for basketball, unless you guys want to talk about the rookie of the year a little more.
Fuck, are we still talking about rookie of the year?
I mean, we probably should.
Probably should.
Can we talk about the stiff for my boy Mobley?
I mean, do you want to just talk about the challenge in regards to rookie of the year?
What challenge?
You have an answer? Yeah. I see an answer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was wrong. Do you need me to go through this, or?
It was not glass. It was actually crystal.
Oh, fuck. We're still on that one. I'm on a different challenge already. I forgot about that.
So I was wrong. I said glass. Kev corrected me. He said crystal.
We're waiting on Jesse to figure
pretty
out
much
with
knew
the
I was
second
wrong
half.
right away there, but
No.
And points in the second half. Anyone? Bueller?
I'm looking. I finally found the box score for the game, and I'm going through it fucking line by line, looking for
the play. I found a couple that I thought was it, but they were just replays. So I was like, well, that's not play by play. They were just replays, like big replays that happened.
Yeah, I got box score every fucking thing that happened. I'm going through line by line. Nothing yet. Nothing in the third quarter.
I don't think he scored.
I thought it was the OT that he didn't score. So I was like,
no, I think it was the full second half and OT.
Jesse got another one off this week. Oh, right.
Maybe. We don't know yet. We don't know. It's still unknown at this point. So because it's unknown, Kev, why don't we move in? You got something about a fucking bird or something?
Yeah, guys, haven't you heard? Haven't you heard, Jesse?
Everybody said about the bird. Bird. That's an actual song. You guys know that?
I hate it when it does that. You know, I just So yeah. So if you guys haven't heard, the bird is the word has been going around. There has been some pros who have been giving the bird. Ryan Hartman was one. I think that started it all. Was fined $4,250 for giving Evander Kane the bird after a little bit of a scrum. I mean, the ref was kind of funny there too, because he was trying to stop him from doing it. But I mean, it's that spring thing, man. It just fucking comes right back up all the time. Kyrie Irving did the double middle finger at the back of his head at the game against the Celtics, and then threw off the little teary eye. You guys just gotta relax. And then Tim Anderson from the White Sox suspended for 1 game, fined for giving the fans the bird. I mean, like, the bird's going around here, guys. Is there any other thoughts that you may have in regards to the word of the bird?
The word. Yeah. So it's just kind of funny that there just happens to be a bunch of athletes giving
bird watching.
Yeah,
bird watching going on,
giving the finger to other fans or other players or what have you. You see it every year. You see it a couple times, whether it be in any sport, really. Another one that with Kyrie there is, so he was heading out through the tunnel or whatever and going back to the change room, and then a Boston fan said, "Hey, Kyrie, you suck," and he turns around and he told him to go fuck himself or something to that effect. And he was basically is like, "I'm fucking done with this bullshit." He's like, "There's only so much a guy can take," and basically he didn't give a fuck that he curse at him, and that was part of the $50,000 fine that he got there. But it's just crazy that there have been these 3 instances within the last 2 weeks for sure, right? So that's just where what I think about that. I think it's kind of funny, but I get the players get frustrated, and you can only take so much when it comes to fans or umps or referees or whatever being idiots. So I think it's pretty funny that.
Yeah, but for me, like, you are a professional out there. This is literally your job. You're paid
Peter.
millions of dollars, or sometimes.
Peter, have you heard?
I have heard.
The bird is the word.
I have heard.
Bird,
I have
bird
heard.
is the word.
But the bird. As a professional athlete, as a representative of your team out there in front of the cameras, as a role model to children, you should not be flipping the bird. You should not be telling fans to go fuck themselves. You got to be better than that as a multi-million-dollar professional athlete, in my opinion.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, what you're saying makes sense for sure. But I mean,
Sometimes your button gets pushed to the point where you have no, like,
It shouldn't, man. You're paid millions of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands, if you're fucking low level.
it'd have been sick if Hazy gave me the finger when I was chirping him. That would have been awesome.
hey, sir.
Hey, sir. No, man, can't happen. You got to be better out there. That's your job. That's
True
part of
facts.
your job.
True facts.
I mean, they are representation of the league too. So
Yeah,
They
the
can't be
league,
doing that
the
shit.
city, the team.
yeah, like I get you can say that's the whole thing why you pay your ticket is to go give them the most crap, but you kind of gotta try and not be too vulgar because
Yeah,
or
you
say-
can get
say
yourself
some-
kicked out.
say something like either racist or whatever kind of thing like to them.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Like there's certainly a line for fans too. Like,
For sure. There
Yeah,
has to be, man. I mean, like, you either gonna get kicked out of the game or whatever for you throwing. I mean, even if you're throwing the bird at them, I mean, it doesn't give
Well,
you the
yeah.
right to sit there and do that.
right.
And-
Generally speaking, anything vulgar, any obscene language, throwing anything at all onto the field of play, like,
You
you
should be
should probably
banned.
get kicked out or banned for those things.
For
But
sure.
if you want to chirp the guy in a perfectly
Civil.
not non-vulgar but very jabby kind of way, fill your boots, man. That's what you pay your money to do.
Or just fucking annoying. Hey, sir.
There's some of my baseball. There's some of my baseball.
He said he would do it after too, and he never did. That motherfucker.
Fucking guy.
I didn't want him to do anything.
No, I'd rather Simeon
The
sign it. He's
ball's
the one who
worth
hit it.
more without a signature. Well, boys, have we figured out the halftime?
So I went through line by line the box score for the game, and I did not see a single point from OG Anunoby. Pascal
Spicy.
Siakam, Spicy P, in the second half or overtime.
Yeah, I just Googled it because I was sick of looking through it and because it wasn't loading. And I just Googled, did Siakam get a point in the second half? And he got zeros.
Mm. I probably should.
Yeah.
I should have started with that.
Well, I was trying to go through line by line, but nothing would load. So I was just like, well, let's just see what Google can tell me.
There you go.
Well done.
Fucking right. I got a plus
Fucking
one.
right.
Oh, I have to go with
plus
your -1, by the way.
0.
It's okay.
You got a 0.
It's okay.
0.
All right,
So
where
with-
are we at now, boys?
With regards to you guys and your thoughts in regards to the have you heard? The bird is the word. We're gonna get into our box here. So who's taking care of this one?
I'll go ahead and talk about this one. Everybody loves to hear my voice anyway. So, Texas pitcher who gave up a home run, and the home run hitter was doing a little chirping as he was running around the bases. Just decided he got around third base on his home run trot, and the pitcher decided that he had played a lot of Madden, and he decided to go ahead and make sure he hit that truck stick.
And like we're talking the early like 2000s versions when the truck stick first came out.
Yeah, when he was definitely every single time you fucking nail him and he gets knocked the fuck out, because that's pretty much what happened. He basically was watching, buddy's running around the bases, he's chirping, and the pitcher is creeping a little bit towards third base. He's probably just off the pitching mound circle, and all of a sudden he hits the third base. The batter does. Hits the third base and rounds, and this guy just fucking sprints, truck sticks, and knocks him the fuck out. It's a heavy hit. And so he fucking smokes him.
It's clean though, shoulder to shoulder.
It was a good hit.
It's more like shoulder to chest.
Hit. It was a good hit.
Sure. Just ear hold him like crazy.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have been better if he actually wrapped him up. If he wrapped him up and then
he didn't need to, man. No. He went to the ground
for sure.
I mean, you say it's clean, but at the same time, like he's not expecting that.
No, it's not clean in this sport.
Yeah. Unless you're the catcher, right? That's the only one that expects to get fucking nailed. And even nowadays, you don't expect.
You can't do it. Even if you're a football player, you're expected to get hit if you've the ball. He didn't have the ball. The ball was out of the park.
It was a good block.
It was a hell of a hit. So pitcher Owen Woodward there, he had been suspended previously 4 games, and they didn't really need to suspend him again because he got booted off the team. The team kicked him off. He's like, get the fuck out of here. We don't need any of that shit. And that's fair. It would, like I said, it was a hell of a hit. And like, he would still be my buddy for sure. if I was on that team, like, oh man, that was a good team, or that was a good hit. Maybe you should try out for the football team.
I mean, he's tossing up pizzas and getting fucking dingers hitting off him on the baseball team anyway.
Exactly.
Maybe that's not his thing.
Exactly.
Maybe he needs to go play some linebacker.
Yeah. No, for me it was the glove slam when he grabbed his glove and threw it on the ground and then
started. Yeah.
That was it for me. That was hilarious.
For me, it was the hit.
I wonder if he said like Gatorade is better than water.
H2O.
I really hope there's no one too young in our audience to not understand that. That would just make me sad.
I just got a question. Like, what was the third base coach doing there? Like, you didn't see this fucking pitcher come?
Oh no, he came
full
quick.
Blast.
No.
It was from the mound. Like, it was like it had a huge running start.
He was like 3 steps and he was there.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. So
yeah,
there was a few other instances. I would like to actually see this more. Like, they should somehow combine the two sports,
football and baseball.
Yeah. So you get a hit, and like, I don't know, you can't just throw to get the guy out, or you can throw him out, but if it's gonna be a play at third, the third baseman's gotta fucking try and lay out the runner from a standstill or something. I don't know.
Do you guys ever watch Slam Ball?
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
It's like full contact basketball but on trampolines.
On trampolines, yeah.
This is the vibe I'm getting from this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it only lasted a couple seasons before everyone was injured. And paying out way too much for medical.
For sure.
Details.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. This Owen Woodward there from Weatherford College in Texas. He's in our box this week because you're a pitcher in baseball.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like I said, maybe if it happened at the plate, you might get away with it. You're probably not going to, but it'd be more acceptable at the plate than halfway between fucking third and home. So But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for our penalty box. Like we had a good laugh there with the old truck stick, and he should definitely look to, now that he's not a baseball player, he should definitely look to be playing some football for sure. Maybe like some rugby, you know, something like that.
Oh, yeah, rugby would be nice.
Aussie rules football, maybe. Who knows, right?
You just gotta chirp him first before he fucking goes. You're all.
Just tell him
It's
that
all- it's
Gatorade's
just
better,
in your
man.
head. Water sucks. It really sucks.
Oh, that's seriously one of my favorite movies, man. It's so funny. Oh fuck. All right. Let's go through our challenge scores for the day, and we'll go through the season scores, and then we'll move on and wrap this bitch up.
Yeah, so 2 challenges today. Most of all the participants on the call were involved in challenges. Most of them. So first, of course, was the Rookie of the Year trophy, whether it's made of glass or crystal. And it is, in fact, solid crystal. So Kev took a point off Josh on that bad boy.
You.
Kev is making a big comeback.
No, I'm not.
We're still early in the season. There's time.
No, he's not.
And then Spicy P's second half points. Oof. Over under 0.5. It was the under. So Josh took a point off Jesse on that ill-advised challenge. So
I thought it was better. I thought he got at least one, like even a free throw.
and you were wrong.
Yep.
So that brings our totals. Jesse remains in the lead as the only positive player at +3. Josh hangs out even with a plus and a minus today, so he stakes at -1, good for second place.
Yeah.
I didn't do a fucking thing today, so good for -2 on the season. And Kev increases to a solid -8. So you may be right, Kev, but it helps, but you may already be a lost cause. Sorry, buddy. But don't worry, we'll toss some points in there for some extracurriculars. You just wait.
Yeah, buddy. I can't wait.
I know you can't. So that's our season scores. And we roll right into how our drinks were. Why don't we start with you, Kev?
All right.
Bitch number 1.
Why do I have to be the first one? Because I was the first one to talk about my wee angry Scottish ale.
You
A
got to
wee
say it.
Scottish.
Wee.
It's a wee Scottish angry one.
That's not even Scottish, it's Scotch.
Scottish
Scotch
ale.
ale. Scottish. Scotch. BC brewed. Just 6.5 strong beer. It was definitely strong. I enjoyed it. I mean, this is something I might be able to bring out to our civic holiday.
No,
Why not?
because you don't drink IPAs other than on the show.
True facts.
And it gets too expensive when you're going camping and you
Yeah, man, $3 a can for sure.
yeah, like 100 of those would cost you a lot of money.
You're not.
Yeah,
doing
but I wouldn't be
man.
drinking that
Come
for the
on.
whole weekend. I mean, I'd just go into my heinies at that point.
Back
Pedro.
up here.
How was yours?
Yeah, Kev, thanks.
Second to the bitch.
Bitch number 2.
Okay, again, misery loves company. We're team bitch today.
Yeah, you are.
My Instigator West Coast style IPA, they went down really well. They were tasty. I couldn't even wait till our MVP segment to crack my second one.
What? That
which
was you with the
nobody
sound?
noticed. There was a very distinct sound when I pretended to open my beer. But it was very good. I may have it again, and I wouldn't mind it, but I'm not going to bring it camping because it would be too expensive. And that's that. So Jesse, how was your bitch beer?
Bitch number 3.
My bitch beer was super good. Juicy ass from Flying Monkey.
You juicy ass.
It's been on this show a couple times,
Mhm.
and everyone that drinks it has a nice juicy ass. It's good.
Not as juicy as yours, though.
Full disclosure, we've all got nice juicy asses. Except for maybe Kev. Kev, I think he might be a bit bony.
I got a bit of a flat ass.
A bit of a more of a slender build,
Yeah.
Not the rest of us.
Baby
Rest
got
of us-
back.
We're
Rest of us
prominent
got
at the
donk.
front and the back.
Hey, you guys have dad bod. I'm just fat. That's all there is to it. You got dad bod.
So it was good, but we'll give it to the big winner, Yosh. How was
Yeah.
yours?
My 8.5% Wellington Brewing Faces Double IPA was pretty tasty. I'm just about to finish up the last little bit here. But yeah, pretty tasty. Glad to take the W today. Too bad we don't get a point for that because then I would have.
Hey man, I've said we should.
You'd probably be in much better shape. I feel like you won a bunch of these,
Yeah.
but we don't.
Yeah. No, we don't. No, maybe next year.
Nah, doubt it.
Doubt it.
Maybe next year.
Stay tuned.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, it was a good taste of beer. Pretty good show today. Kev, you and I went out for a round of golf today. We had a nice time. Didn't shoot that great, but we had some fun, and it was nice to get out again. We are 2 rounds in, and these other 2 guys are not 2 rounds in. So, no.
But I picked up my clubs,
There you go.
All right.
so we're getting there. Baby
Start.
steps.
It's a
I
start.
found a beer in my bag too. It's been
Nice.
outside all winter.
Put
I
that
tried
in the
to pour
fridge.
it. There's a bunch of sediment that just like it looked gross. It had to go the way of the dodo. But
I got a new golf bag, so I got. Well, it's not new. It's
new to you.
New to
It's
you.
new to me. Yes. So I'm pretty stoked for that because mine's a piece of junk. But
Hey, do you still have your old one?
I do.
I might need it.
Yeah.
And you can have it. I don't. I was.
My my fiance might start learning how to play, so I might need a bag.
Trade him for a dartboard.
Oh,
Ooh, and some darts.
Ooh.
Whoa, easy. Let's not get picky here.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up now. You guys got anything else to say before I give our little sign off?
Yeah, haven't you heard?
What?
The bird is the word.
The bird's the word. Bird.
Can
Bird
we-
is the word?
Talk about the 3-point line before we go.
100% real quick though. You gotta make
No.
it quick.
We got to
got
talk
that.
about the rookie of the year again.
Oh yeah, that's better. That's
Didn't
better.
pick the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about the rookie of the year?
I gotta tell you what, that rookie of the year, he doesn't care where the 3-point line is. He still makes them. So.
Yeah. And holding on to that crystal ball.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, at least I knew that one of our guys didn't get points in the second half. So
Ooh.
I know I chirped the shit out of him. I didn't even know how bad he.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
thought he was a little bit better than what I thought how bad he was.
yeah. And then we got Pete, who's just a bitch. So
Yeah, just
Yep.
didn't do a fucking thing.
What else is
Exactly.
new?
yeah,
But
You're on top.
one of us has to be here just for our looks, you know. No, nothing.
What about the wardrobe?
I think it's the leaves that take the cake today. The leaves, not the leaves, but the leaves.
Go leaves, go.
All right, guys, that's it. You guys are done talking. I'm muting you all. So yeah, for sure. For everyone here, Points and Penalties, I'd like to thank everybody for listening. Please subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. YouTube's down here. You can do it. Do it. Yeah, click it. Give us a like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Points Penalties. And until next week, or maybe the next week, depends if we take a week off. Who knows?
we won't.
We won't. Not next week. But until next week,
Stay
out of the
penalty
penalty box.